Hello, my name is Russell Myers. Welcome to Issues Unite. So, by now, you have most likely heard that Ukrainian forces had entered uh, slightly into Russia and captured three small towns. The only military presence, Russian military presence there, was one contingent who retreated to gather back up from a larger military force at a nearby military installation. It seemed that these Ukrainian forces were headed toward a nuclear weapons site in Russia. However, the weapons had already been removed from that site. Some people say that they had just been removed the day before. Well, it doesn't matter whether it was one day or 1 year before. Um, you know, about the only difference that makes is that if it was only removed the day before, then the Ukrainian forces may not have known that the weapons had been removed. Anyway, so while in the process of this incursion, the Ukrainian actually fired at civilian vehicles and civilian homes. They injured at least 8 civilians. Uh, so, uh, but within 36 hours, uh, the Russians had sent police and military forces, calling this a terrorist action. And, and they're absolutely right. Uh, injuring civilians, capturing civilians, what is the point of that? If you want, if you're going after some military objective, that's one thing, but they weren't able to stop notification of this incursion occurring, so that wasn't the goal. What was the point of injuring civilians? There was no point to this. So what is being stated is that this was a Ukrainian nationalist battalion, nationalist meaning neo-Nazi, and yes, they had neo-Nazi symbolism painted on their military vehicles, which, by the way, uh, many of at least some part of those military vehicles were American-made vehicles that had been sent to Ukraine to, help them defend their territory. Jake Sullivan, with images coming back from this, Jake Sullivan said that, he wasn't going to make any determination on some fuzzy pictures. I've seen these pictures. There's nothing fuzzy about them, and I'm nearsighted, so he definitely needs an eye exam. Of course, he also needs to be psychoanalyzed, but that's aside that point. So, yeah, American weapons and American vehicles are being used to invade Russia. Now, while Russia was responding to this, I understand they uh, killed about 39 of the soldiers involved and captured about 70. Those are the numbers that I've heard, but that can be inaccurate. I'm not sure. What is the point of this? Is this supposed to draw Russian forces in Ukraine out to back into Russia to drive them out? And this was a suicide mission. This was absolutely a suicide mission. Yeah, it did not work because the forces that responded to this were all within Russia. Uh, they didn't draw anybody out of Ukraine to respond to this. I am uh, surprised that they were able to do this at all. But maybe they need to, maybe Russia needs to reinforce their border a bit more with all of the attacks that are happening on mainland Russia, with long-range missiles given to Ukraine by the UK, HIMARS attacking Donbass, Donetsk, a civilian population center with no military presence in the city, other small townships along the line of contact. The weapons that have been provided to Ukraine are supposed to be used to defend against the Russian military that has invaded Ukraine. It's not supposed to be used against civilians. They don't seem to be targeting, for the most part. On occasion, they're attacking military outposts or installations in Russia, but an attack on the Kremlin, that is not a military installation, and that's attempted assassination. Anyway, this whole thing seemed to be an attempt to distract Ukrainian and Western, supporters from the fact that Ukraine did lose in Donbass, in Bakhmut, now Artyomovsk, just a few days ago, to try and make this seem like some kind of success when it was really just another tragic loss of life, and wound up with some of their soldiers being taken prisoner. So there was no point to this. Now, I find the timing of this kind of interesting because several weeks ago, General Zeluzhny, the commander of the Ukrainian forces, was injured, severely injured, and he is out of the picture now. He is no longer going to be the commander of the Ukrainian forces. Apparently, he got a head injury, allegedly from shrapnel. I really don't believe that Zeluzhny would have authorized such an incursion into Russian territory as this. I could be wrong, but I don't actually believe that he would have approved this. So this was approved since he's been injured. And some people are saying, well, this took a lot of planning. No, not really. All it took was identifying the weakest point in Russian defenses in Belgorod, and going and invading through that weakest point. That's it. It didn't take a whole lot of planning. They knew what their objective was. I am surprised, again, that there wasn't more of a military presence with there being a nuclear weapons site. Now, was this a mobile site? Possibly. But, if it was a permanent nuclear weapons site, that took some planning to remove the nuclear weapons from that site, if it was a permanent installation. If it was a mobile nuclear site, which Russia has many of, they have many of their nuclear weapons on. They are mobile. They move continuously. They've done this for decades, since the Soviet Union, since at least the 1960s or 70s. Most of their nuclear weapons have been mobile. It's hard to track or locate or target a moving weapon. So, who knows? Anyway, another thing about Zeluzhny is that many people have thought that he would be the person to replace Zelensky as president. Well, during this same time frame, Zelensky announced that elections in Ukraine have been suspended. So, kind of interesting that Ukraine suspends their elections while the DNC has, announced that there will be no Democratic debates for the 2020 season, all at once. So Ukraine has also suspended all use of Instagram since the Patriot missile installation was damaged. The West likes to say damaged. I'm going to believe what Russia has said about this, which is that this installation was seriously damaged, possibly destroyed. They said they took out 1 radar and 5 launchers. Well, Ukraine apparently only had 8 launchers for the Patriot system. And allegedly, I don't know how many radars they have, but allegedly the U.S. government told them to stop using the Patriot system because it might be targeted if they use it. Isn't that exactly why you want to use an anti-missile system and air defense system to ward off attacks? So, yeah, I'm really believing that that system was permanently, disabled by the Kinzhal missiles, the hypersonic missiles from Russia. Now, the fact that Zelensky has suspended elections tells me that he is fearful that if there were another election, he would not be reelected. And he has every intention of remaining in office indefinitely. For how long can this go on? I'm not sure I said it, but Ukraine also suspended access to Instagram, so that people cannot post videos of such things as the Patriot missile system being taken down. The woman that posted video of that Patriot missile system has been arrested. So, yeah, freedom and democracy. Yeah, that's what the United States is supporting. Suspended elections, cutting off access to social media, complete control of the media in Ukraine. I'm finding it very suspicious that Zeluzhny got injured, got a head injury right at this particular time, especially, and with all the other events that are occurring around this. Anyway, so American weapons and vehicles in Ukraine, a failed attempt. They're not actually fighting the Russians on the front line uh, with any of this. They're attacking civilian targets. I don't understand what they think this is going to accomplish and why the West continues to support it. They need to sit down and have peace talks. The fall of Bakhmut should have been the final signal to sit down and negotiate for peace terms. But those negotiations should have happened long ago before this invasion ever happened. Those negotiations should have happened any time between then and now, but they're not going to happen. Uh, the West is going to continue sending weapons, at least as much as are available. And, they claim the F-16s will be a game changer, but those F-16s really don't have any capacity that the former Soviet jets did not have. They're from around the same time frame, and they were about equal in capacity and capabilities between the F-16s and the Soviet MiGs. They had about the same capabilities. And it's going to take many months to train pilots to fly those. Anyway, share this video, talk about these subjects, support a peace process, not more warfare. And just consider the fact that, Biden just announced another $375 million aid package to Ukraine, but is, working with the Republicans to cut $1 trillion from social support services. So, Social Security and Medicare freeze. We have hundreds of billions to send to Ukraine, but nothing for our own people. All right, share this video, talk about these subjects. If you can afford it, please donate whatever you can to help expand this channel and my presidential campaign. I will catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a good day.